All right, so welcome everyone to our 5th webinar that we have run, which is on making the sale. So I'm going to be your moderator today, so I'll be managing the webinar and making sure everything's running smoothly. If you guys have any questions, I'll be managing them at the end, and I'll just make sure everything goes to plan. If you haven't used Zoom before, down the bottom is your options, so you can change your audio settings. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, just hit the Q&A button and submit it, and we will answer them all at the end. And if you need to leave, then there's the leave meeting button on the bottom right-hand corner. And I'd like to introduce our panelist today, which is Greg Verhoof, who is our primary here at Greg Verhoof Chartered Accountant. So over to you.
Thank you very much, Shana, and thank you for all our attendees today who have signed in to come and listen to this presentation. We hope you find it interesting. Questions, yes, we love questions. That's what we do most of our life actually here at Greg Verhoof Chartered Accounting, is help people with various questions. Phone calls and emails just run all day long. So please use the question tab to ask some questions, and we'll answer those at the end. Now, saying for the thought of the day from Zig Ziglar, quite a cool name, quite like that name actually. Anyway, stop selling and start helping. And that's really the theme for a lot of the stuff in today is it's not about selling to people, it's about helping people with your products and services. And when the products and your services help them and the value of that is worth more than what they have to pay in cash, then they'll most likely buy from you. Also, another quote here from Jeremy Gittimer, I hope I've got that right, who's described as the king of sales, says that people don't like being sold to, but they love to buy. So we recommend you check out some of his books and so on today. Now, I've got quite a lot of notes today, so I do have to refer down from quite a bit, unfortunately, but just bear with me as we work through the stuff today. And we're also going to try a new bit of tech today, a wee Menti thing, which is the first time we've done it. I've used it before myself, but never actually run one, so that'll be new. What's on the agenda? What's on the list today? So what is selling? We can talk a little bit about the definition of that, the 4 different types of seller, top 10 things you must do, the ingredients for creating value. We look at 4 different sales techniques and how you might use those in making your sales. How to overcome objections, what the next steps might be after attending this webinar, how that we can help, and then we'll deal with any questions at the end. Now, I do have to add in here my usual disclaimer that the information in this webinar is of educational nature. It is general and not specific, and no substitute for giving tailored advice in particular circumstances. So please enjoy today, but if you have anything that's really curly, please get proper advice for it. Right, we're going to move on to our menti.com, and I need to click there. No. Sorry. On there. Right, so there is, if you can, on your phone or laptop or whatever you're in, if you can go to menti.com, the website's on the top of the page there, you should see it, menti.com, and put the passcode in 400-43085. So it might take a few seconds to do, but if you do that and then type in what springs first thing to mind when I say the word sales. What is it that comes to your head when we say sales? And we'll just give that a few minutes. Oh, we've got some words coming through. That's good. Hopefully a few more. That's good. Payments, products, success, profit, money. What else is coming up there? Selling, sales, selling. Well, yeah, of course, that makes. transactions success. Well, yeah, make the sale, that's a success. Any other last ones coming through there? It looks like I'm looking over to my screen to the right. That's because I can see what you guys can see over on that side. So I'm looking over there to see what's popping up from time to time. Profit, sold, sales profit. Okay, now that's cool. That's cool. Now that's worked really quite well. So yeah, what you see on the screen there is what people think about being, selling or being sold to. This webinar is about how we help our customers to buy without feeling that they're being sold to. Right, so go back to our webinar, we click. All right. Okay, Oxford Dictionary. The definition of sale is the exchange of a commodity for money. Reasonably straightforward. But we have to think about this. The value of the goods or sales, in order for that sale to happen, the value needs to be worth more than the money. Because why would I, part with my hard-earned money in order to get something that's worth to me less than the value of that money? So it's about the value of that product or service that I'm buying being worth more or a higher value than the cost it is. Now, the thing is, who puts the value on the cost or on the product or the service? It's not the person selling it that puts the value on it, it's the person buying it. It's the perception of that value to me as the buyer as to what that product or service is worth. So of course it's the customer who determines the value. As the seller, it's our job to inform the customer or help them join the dots to create that value, about finding out what it is they need, what their problems are, and how our product or service is going to help make their life so much better or solve their problems, and that value that it's going to create for them is worth them parting with their hard-earned money in order to buy that product or service. Okay, so when is the sale made? When is the sale made? So now we'll get excited when the customer says they want to purchase something, and maybe they might sign an agreement to purchase something. But really, at the end of the day, the sale is made once we receive the payment, because there are options all the way along where a customer can pull out, where they can find a reason not to go ahead with the sale, where they can just stop communicating to us, or at the end of the day, they might buy the service and not pay for it, in which case that's no good at all. So really the sale's made when we've completed our side of it and the customer has delivered on their side and paid over their hard-earned money into our business. So we can, here we work with our clients, we like to help them through all those steps in that process about their advertising, how they might get the leads in the door, making a sale, the type of presentation we're doing now, a marketing plan of how they might promote their stuff for the year, but also how they get their invoices out on time, how they remind people about their statements, and what to do when people don't pay you, how you get people to pay quicker, more promptly, or sign up them up to different ways of paying so that you get your money up front. Okay, the 4 kinds of seller. So I'm just going to flip through these next 4 slides on the 4 different types of seller. We'll start off with the order taker. So the order taker, picture there of someone taking an order at a restaurant, but an order taker really just sort of sits there and waits for the sales to come. They wait for the people to walk in the door and say, I'd like to buy that. And in every business there are services or products that do just sell like that. People just come in and want to buy them. You don't have to sell it to them. They've already seen it, they've already decided they want it, they're a return customer or whatever, and that's an easy sale. They come in, they know what they want, they buy it. Number 2, the product pusher. So this is where someone will come across that very well-practiced, well-rehearsed salesperson who just keeps badgering you with more and more products until they find what they think you might want to buy. And they just keep pushing lots and lots of products, and they just hope that you connect with one of them and that you decide to buy off them. Number 3, the overseller. promise the world and under-deliver. The person who's out there just to make the sale, they don't care about the follow-up and the service. And I guess we've all run into these sorts of people before too, and they are just going to do whatever they can to get that sale through. Often the follow-up may not be so great. They may oversell the product or oversell the service, and then you might find out that the product or service that you've purchased is not quite as good as what you thought it would be. The problem with this is, okay, they make good sales, but the problem is they don't get return customers. And really, the best form of marketing is your return customers, turning those customers into advocates for you, so that they tell more people and they keep coming back. So, and our fourth kind of seller is the problem solver. Problem solver will identify the problem, listen to the customer, find out what the issues are, consider the needs of the customer, and figure out from the customer's point of view that whole WIFM sort of thing, what's in it for me? What is the customer really trying to achieve? And then put together a solution of products and services that helps them to meets what that customer's looking for. And really deliver a great product or great service, and go out of their way to make sure that customer is looked after and gets what they had promised they would deliver. Part of that is also trying to decipher the wants from the needs. The customer may want a Ferrari, but in the end they've got 4 kids and they actually need a people mover. So and if you sell them the Ferrari, they're going to take it away and then go, actually, this is not the right thing. This salesperson's sold me the wrong product. So it's about actually digging a wee bit deeper, finding out exactly what the needs of that customer is, what the features and the benefits that customer might need, what are the important bits to that customer. The example is like someone who's got a rusty roof and decides he wants to get it painted. And through a bit of digging and question asking, you might find out that the roof is actually leaking, and that the real problem is not that it just needs a paint, but the actual house needs a whole new roof. So there's about understanding the customer's problem, that they've got some leaks, and then you need to try and sell them the idea that the painting is not going to solve that problem. You actually need to fix the roof. You need to replace the roof. And we know it's a far bigger spend, but it's going to increase the value of your house. It's going to make your house dry and less damp. You're not going to have problems with mouldy walls, and that we can arrange some finance. You can pay it off over 5 years or whatever the story is, and actually sell the customer a solution that really fits their needs. Okay, that's our four types of seller. Moving on to the top 10 must-dos. Be clear on your target market. And we do sort of a bit of a workshop on building a marketing plan, and that's always one of the first things, is to identify who your market is and who your target market is. Who are the people that are most likely going to buy the product or service that you're selling? There's no point wasting your time chasing people who don't want your service. Articulate your value. Be very clear about what it is that your business does, or what it is that your service provides, or the product that you do. And you've got to do it in a reasonably concise, short sentence, so that people can get it straight off. Because you don't have half an hour to make the sale. You've got to get that sort of very quick punchline out there about what you do to generate their interest. Commit to what you promise. Well, that's just good service. Like I said before, you want customers to come back. You want to talk about your business. You want them to be advocates for you. So definitely follow up with what you do. Use systems. Again, your marketing plan should have a system of what you're going to target for the year, when, how, who, what the budget is, how you're going to do it, what processes and mechanisms you're going to use for your advertising, and how you're going to do your follow-up sales and systems after that. So have a system, document it out, make sure the team understand how it works, make sure everyone follows it, and don't be afraid to change it. If things aren't working or someone comes up with a better idea, adapt and change. Make those changes as you go. But systems. Ask questions, don't tell. Not every customer is in the same situation. You need to ask questions. You need to find out what it is. There's a very common theme coming through all our slides here. So yeah. Focus on the benefits, the what's in it for me, with them, from the customer's perspective. You know, what is it they're looking for? What is it? How is it going to benefit them? How's the solution going to help them? What are the benefits for them? Not necessarily the features of a product are part of the selling point, but it's about how those features create benefits for your customer. Establish the value before quoting the price. So, as we mentioned before, value is set by the customer. So you've got to try and figure out what's going through that customer's head about the value that they see in that product. You know, so you know, have a bit of flexibility in your price. Make a wee bit extra margin where you can, and if you're up against a tough competition, maybe you've got to have a thin margin. But yeah, we're up to number 8. Options. The choice of yeses. So getting the customer on side is the first step, but then there may be a whole range of different options available, so that you know, the customer can choose between multiple different options. So it's the choice of yeses, and then it's a matter of which one should they choose. Focus on the relationship, not the sale. Just, yeah, as it always is, it's all about relationships. If someone will trust you and believe you're offering good value and thinks that you're out there to help them, then that's going to help the sale go through a whole lot more smoother. UPOD. Under promise and over deliver. Never over deliver and under promise. What's the other way around? You know what I'm trying to say. But under promise, over deliver. People like getting a bit more than they thought they were going to get, or finding out their product or service was better than they thought, and that's always just a positive. All right, that's our top 10. Hope you've all taken some notes there. Haven't got any questions coming through yet, so please fire some questions through. Or if you're just happy just to listen and drink your coffee in the background, that's fine too. We'll push on. The 3 essentials to creating value. So for the customer to buy from you, it's because they're seeing the value of what it is that you're offering. So we can sort of work through, sort of break that down into 3 different bits. So the first thing is quality. Yes, quality. Sorry. I actually thought the first one was service, but never mind. Quality has to be good. So yeah, you want to be delivering a quality product that's free from defects, that's going to do what the customer says, that meets their expectations or exceeds their expectations. Now, just delivering a good quality product, it only works if it's backed up with good service. We've all had that instance before. We've brought something, gone to find the service, it doesn't work for some reason, go to get some support or help on it, or try to fix it or something like that, and find out that the backup service is absolute crap. And we immediately turn off that supplier, and we don't really want to go back to them. And our third one there is price. So where the good quality, good service, and the price is right, creates the value in the middle there, which is where we should be aiming to be. By delivering good quality and good service, we also maximise our price that we can charge, because the value in the customer's mind is at the highest point at that stage. Right. Sales technique. Sales techniques that work. All right. So we've got a formula I'm going to throw up on the screen in a minute, the formula for change. And then we're going to have a bit of a talk about needs versus wants. And we use a slide called the spin cycle for that. Ask and don't tell. And bam, bam, the last one. So we will work through these. 4 different techniques. So the first one, D times V plus F is greater than R. So effectively the sale will happen where that formula on the left is greater than R. So we start on the right hand side. The R is resistance to change. So if someone going to buy a product or service off you, then they want to change what they're currently using. So where the formula on the left is greater than that resistance, then that then creates the opportunity for a sale to happen. On the left-hand side, D is for dissatisfaction, and V is the vision. So this is where you need to find out what their current problem is, or their dissatisfaction, or their issue that they're having that needs to be resolved. And V is the vision that you can sell them about the positive state of the future, about how your product can be, can help solve their problem. And F is the first steps or the direction towards achieving that vision. So how can you help them make that sale? So whether they can buy it now up front, or whether they can pay it off for a few months, or whether they can finance it over a number of years. Okay, so where the dissatisfaction times the vision you've sold them, and you've provided them with the steps in the right direction, where those three things are greater than their resistance to change, then people are more likely to change and go ahead with acquiring that product or service. So change doesn't happen by accident, it happens because there's a reason. And it's up to you as the seller to get that reason across. Right. Number 2 is we call the spin cycle. It's important to remember that customers come to us because they're wanting something, but however, they may not know exactly what it is that they need. We need to help our customers to join the dots, to understand what they need. This will allow our customers or customers a choice of yeses about what they could purchase from us, or they could purchase what they actually need to solve their underlying problems. So first of all, there's the underlying situation. The first part of the spin is understanding that underlying situation of the customer. That helps us to then recognise the problems that our customers are experiencing, and the impact or implications that those problems are having on their life or lifestyle, which if we understand those three things, we can then anticipate what their needs and recommend a product or service that's going to help fit their needs. Okay. Number 3, ask, don't tell. I do quite like this one. It's just really, it's a sales technique that helps us to engage with our customer. So it's about asking them questions and just keep asking them questions until we get to the point where we sort of drop in a solution, and then hopefully it reverses roles and they start asking us questions, and then we can explain our product and service to them. So it might go something like this, and I've got a wee script here to read from. So the question might be, how are your sales tracking right now? And the answer might be,
they've dropped a bit since COVID's hit.
Right, and then I might come back with a question that says, so what have you tried so far to increase your sales?
I've increased my advertising.
And to that I might say something like, are your team members achieving the same sales outcomes that you are?
I'll say, no, for some reason I seem to get better results than them.
Okay, so what sales training have you provided to your team?
I've shared a few ideas with them, but nothing formal.
Now, were you aware that we offer a value-based coaching service where we could work with your team to increase their skills?
No, what does that involve?
Well, we work together and we start by setting a sales action plan where we get clear expectations of what we want to achieve and the steps that we need to get there.
That's interesting. How much does that cost?
Well, you'll have to wait to the end of this webinar to find out. Thank you, Shana, for helping participate in that script. But hopefully you get the idea of that. It's question, question, question. The customers ask, answering, and then about question 4 or 5, you flip it around, and hopefully they start asking some questions of you, and you start actually informing them of the product or service that you can help them with. Right, completely lost my notes now. All right, next slide. Oh, number 4, bam, bam, book a meeting from a meeting. So 48% of salespeople will never follow up with a prospect. 44% of salespeople only follow up once, and 80% of sales are made on the 5th or subsequent contact. Customers are 4 times more likely to buy when referred to by a friend. So most people, when they're buying something or looking for a service, they'll most often get at least 2 quotes or 2 prices. And being that 48% of those people who give them the quote or price never follow up, if you simply follow up to the price you've given, then you've doubled your odds immediately of winning that job or that sale. So really important to follow up with your sales, with your leads. Second point is touch points. 80% of sales are made on the 5th or subsequent contact. So that doesn't mean you have to ring them 5 times, but they might have seen your website, they might have seen an ad in the paper, they might have seen a posting on social media somewhere, they might have talked to a friend about you. So it takes a number of contacts and points to get that person across the line to make the sale. So don't put all your marketing in one area, and make sure you sort of spread your net a wee bit. Now, BAM-FAM means book a meeting from a meeting, and really that refers to that it's easier to sell to someone who's already a customer. So when a customer comes in to book a product or a service and you deliver that product or service, then at the same time you should book up a follow-up with them so that you touch base with them again in 3 months or 6 months' time, just to see how that's going. Is there anything else that we can help you with? We've got this new product or service which adds on to that we did last time, and we could help you with additional services. Right. Objections. So trying to make the sale, people have these sort of standard objections in their mind. They really just can't be bothered. They just want to move on, and they'll just say something like, "Oh, look, I've got no time right now. I'm far too busy. I've got lots on my plate," or "I've just got no money. Our budget's tight," whatever. And again, it's that that formula for change. You've got to overcome that resistance by finding out what the problem is, showing the solution, and showing them the steps to make that change. So you need to have some sort of preset answers for those sorts of questions. If money is a problem right now, then can you offer a payment term? Can you let them pay it off? Can you do a finance arrangement? How else can you make it easy? If they haven't got time, then what is a good time? When do you have a bit of time that I can talk to you? Can I send you a 60-second video clip explaining what we do? Ways of trying to overcome that time. Equa technique is a technique for responding to objections. So the A of Equa is acknowledge. Acknowledge the person's objections, acknowledge the way they feel. Q is to question what they mean by that objection. What is the solution we can try and offer to counter that objection? Understand their objection. Paraphrasing it back to them, so you've got it clear about exactly what it is that they're having problems with. And after you've done those first 3 steps, then maybe you can offer an alternative proposal that might move you a bit along that sales process. Okay, sales action plan. Now we've done business plans before and talked about having a plan for your business. About sitting down once a year and identifying where you want your business to go, how you want to get there, what your strategies are to get there, and stepping that out through the year into a business plan. Now, as part of your business plan, you should do a sales plan or marketing plan, and it's a concise plan for your sales team or yourself or whoever's doing the sales for the business about what the plan is for making the sales for the year. You need a budget for what your marketing team is going to spend and how you're going to spend it. And you want to break that down into months for the year, and you want to set yourself goals for each month as to what you want to achieve in the return for sales for those months. Key performance indicators are simple metrics to track the performance of your business, something you can look at or glance at quickly and tell how things are going. So you want to set some, and often, weekly sales numbers or monthly sales numbers is a really good KPI. So you want to set those up as to what you're wanting to achieve. And they're going to change throughout the year because everyone has busy times and quiet times. So you want to set yourself targets in the busy times that are quite high and targets in the quiet times that are a bit low. Marketing, what are your opportunities to market? What are your risks? What are your vulnerabilities? And you want to end up with an action plan as to what steps out for the year, what your advertising is going to be and what your sales expectations are going to be based on that marketing. Now that's something we can help people with if you want to come and engage us to do that. And we'll talk a wee bit about that in a second. Right, next steps, we're just about there. So the 45 minutes is really only 35 minutes, but that's all good. So next steps, thanks for coming along to the webinar and listening. That's a good step that you've wanted to learn something. We hope you've got something you can take away with. We've got a couple of freebie worksheets we're happy to give away. But the thing is, it's no good just attending these things and then going home and forgetting all about it. You need to put something in the diary for later in the week or tomorrow to actually do something. Anything is better than nothing, and do something out of your towards your making your sales. Make a plan. Focus on the stuff you can do. Don't worry about the things you can't do. And if you would like to come and engage us as your accountant, we're more than happy to help. The old brain's a bit saggy today, but a bit of a head cold's not helping too much. Anyway, happy to come and help with your business. And we have a couple of prices on the next slide here. So sales action plan. Now it is sort of about a half-day workshop. There's a bit of pre-work we ask you to do beforehand. And then there's a bit of work that we'll do beforehand. We organise a sort of a 4-hour workshop in a location. 2 of us from my firm will attend and work you through a whole series of steps for that half day, and then at the end we will take away all those notes and we'll formulate that into a sales plan, present that to you, and then tweak it and change it to fit so you're happy with the end result at the end. Now we charge on completion, and we're only going to charge if you're happy with the end result. If you're not happy or think it's not worth that, then we're quite happy to negotiate a lower amount, but we think for half-day workshop it's not bad value. Like this 40-minute or 35-minute session we've done now, value-based sales coaching. So we have a longer presentation that's more sort of a 1 to 2 or 3 small group discussion. It's helping your team to understand what value-based selling is. Picks on a lot of the ideas that was in this webinar today and extends them out for an hour and a half, 2 hours sort of session. So $500 for that. And that's something we can put together if you would like us to help with that. Now we did the formula for the formula base for change. Happy to hand that out for free. And also if anyone wants to come and have a chat, have a coffee, talk about where their business is, what they want to do, how we might be able to help them with their business, then hey, we're always happy to sit down and have a chat. So it's a free coffee on us if you'd like to take us up on that offer. All right, we're getting near the end. Shana, do you have some questions?
We have had a couple of questions come through. So if you have any more questions, just fire them through now. The first question is, we have a couple of the salespeople in the business as well as myself. How can I help them improve their sales results?
Well, good start. This webinar is being recorded. We'll post it up on our website in the next few days. And welcome to sit them down and get them to watch this. That then will lead into hopefully a bit of discussion about their sales techniques and how they might improve their sales techniques. And if you wanted us to engage as part of your team, then yeah, we can we can come and help work with all of you to do that as well. So.
Cool. And the other question that we've had come in is, the sales techniques you shared are great, but I'm concerned I won't remember them. What's the best way to learn?
Oh, how do you learn anything? Practice, practice, practice. The more you do, the better you get. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. If you do make a mistake, just let it go and pick it up on the next one. There's no wrong answers to a lot of this stuff, and it's learned by trial and error, unfortunately. And it's having that confidence to give it a go, and don't beat yourself up if it doesn't work so right. Just have another go again. There's always another fish out in the ocean to be caught. So practice makes perfect.
Fantastic.
All right.
I think that's all the questions we've got. We haven't had any others come through.
Very good. Oh, that's nice and easy. Last quote, parting thought for the day. Approach every customer with the idea of helping him or her solve a problem or achieve a goal, not of selling a product or a service. Brian Tracy. And unfortunately, I don't know who Brian Tracy is, but it's a good comment and very much what we have been talking about today. So, thank you all for attending. I hope everyone's gained something out of that. Nice and quick, 40-minute presentation, and we'll see you all in our next webinar in a couple of months' time with a topic yet to be advised. So, thank you. See you later.